What comes to mind when you think of Qatar Airways? Perhaps the Q suite, state funding, or a sea of wide bodies? What may not immediately spring forth is the carrier's least served routes. Of course, it's a similar deal for most airlines. The least popular destinations tend to get the oldest and smallest aircraft. And in the case of Qatar Airways, most of these least served routes see the soon-to-be retired A320ceo, which is hardly earth-shattering. And so, to get the results for today's topic, we examined all passenger flights, both non-stop and one-stop, between August and December using OAG data. To be counted, destinations from Doha needed to have no more than 60 departures in the 5 months. We won't read all of the destinations out, and so the 11 results are summarized in the table here. The quote-unquote winner, as you can see, is the airline service between Doha and Bodrum in Turkey. This runs just 3 times weekly and is a seasonal operation. Yes, for some routes it's limited to summer seasonal services, for others it's year-round but low frequency, down to as low as 2 per week. Doha to Toulouse, the only entry to see wide bodies, ends soon. As you further examine this table, do keep in mind that some routes sometimes have similar weekly frequencies but do not make our threshold due to exceeding 60 departures in total. Looking closer at the service between Doha and Toulouse, Qatar began this service on July 18, 2023. The city joined other French destinations in the carrier's network, the long-served Paris Charles de Gaulle, along with Nice and Lyon. Flights to Lyon had only started 15 days earlier. It looks like Toulouse was a bet that didn't quite pay off. Indeed, the end of this route was announced in July 2024. For now, Qatar Airways continues to serve the city 3 times weekly until September 29th. All routes take time to develop, especially long-haul, and not all will or are expected to succeed. Toulouse was simply not doing well enough to continue. There was a lack of premium travel and insufficient loads overall. Deploying equipment that was perhaps larger than necessary were contributing factors. While it started on the 260-seat A330-200, more than half of the flights have been on the larger 305-seat A330-300. This reduced loads and yields further and didn't help financial performance or development. Very few Qatar Airways European routes use the aging A330. Lyon flights, which started at a similar time as Toulouse, have been exclusively on the lower-capacity Boeing 787-8. While some may conclude that the Airbus connection drove the A330 to be used for flights to Toulouse, it was actually from a lack of alternative aircraft. The airline had said it would switch to the A350-900 when possible, although given the route will end soon, that won't be happening anymore. Perhaps Toulouse and places like it might be more suited to the A321LR when that equipment arrives. What do you think of the least served routes for Qatar Airways? Were there any surprises for you? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.